Afternoon. Clearly you're here because you have some time before you start your job at Google, who sent you an offer after watching my last masterclass. So, you want to advance your knowledge, and that is clearly what I'm here to help you do. If you remember from my last class, you better remember, it's not optional. Then you will remember we made a ping command, an absolutely revolutionary feature on all bots. In this class, we're going to make some more commands. I want to start by creating a command to view your account's profile picture and created date. Later, however, we shall move to including your social security number, full name, address, and any more info that you deem necessary. Well, for first we need to do the easiest part, which is to write a way to check if someone's used the profile command, which is incredibly similar to using the ping command. Instead of ping, we will use profile. Remember how to do that. For our current ping command, we're using basic bitch messages. They work, but they don't flex our true super male grind set. To do that, we will need to use embedded messages. However, if you cannot stand drowning in pussy and money, I would not recommend. We can create an embedded message by using the message embed constructor, like so. And if we want to add a title to this, we can do. We can then just send it to the channel by doing message.channel.send and then our embedded. If we then start the bot test, it works. Now that we know making an embedded works, you may be wondering how to get someone's account info. This is surprisingly easy. For this case, all we need to do is access the message.author method, and this includes the user ID, username, created date, and more. If you want to set the title of your embedded to your username, we can access the username property of the message author like this. If you need more user info, you can just ask Facebook. Now that we've done this, we should add your profile picture to the embedded. To do this, all we need is your profile, your avatar URL. We can get this by calling message.author.avatar URL, and with the URL it gives us, we can do messageembedded.setThumbnail and have the URL as the parameter. Now all we need to do is to add your create date. We can do this by getting your create date via the author.createdApp property. And then we can add it to our embedded by adding a new field with a title with something like created date, and then the date as its content. One thing that we may want to do for this command is to add a feature that can allow us to get this information from other people. Beyond breaking into someone's home and stealing this information, we must fetch it programmatically. To do this, we can declare a variable for user and check if it's either message.mentions.user.first or the message.author. What this checks is if there is a mentioned user, and if there is not a mentioned user, it sets it as the message author. All we need to do now is to replace all of the message authors in our code with our user variable. However, now that we're doing this, we're going to need to check for our commands by using message.content.startswith instead of just message.content. This is as the commands won't fire if there is stuff after our original command. For experienced bot devs, this seems like an incredibly bad way to do it, however I will get into that in a minute. A better way for managing command is, instead of using if statements, using switch statements. This is because if statements require multiple threads to be started, and that slows down any program, not just bots. How we'll need to do this is we'll need to input our first word of our message, which we can find by doing message.content.split and then have just a space in a string between it. This will return an array, and the first element of the array will be our command. The more I write this series, the more I realise I should probably make one for Node.js. With the knowledge here, you should be able to write any command now. However, for the sake of proving it, we should just write a server info command quickly. Due to the way switch statements work, we will have to declare the variables that you want to use before the switch statement. This is not hard, unless you're bad, like me. Anyway, to declare this command, we need to do the same as the profile command. We can follow this by checking if the message is sent to a server, or as it's called by Discord, a guild. It's simple by just doing if message.guild. This checks if the message has the guild property, which would mean it was sent in a guild. If it's not sent in a server, we can do something as simple as sending a message to the person, reminding them that they can only send it in servers. If you can send the command to a Discord that you've not already done too much trolling in, you're going to want to create a message embedded on your message embedded variable. Within the server, you can fetch the server info from the message.guild property. You may want to set your message embedded title to the server name. Similar to adding a field to the profile command, we may want to add a field to the server command that shows the amount of members a server has. We can do this by using the same code from the profile command embedded. However, for the title, we may want to do something like users, and for the field, we want to do message.guild.members.cache.size. Remember to send the server message to the channel. I forgot to do that while writing this. And honestly, that's all I can be bothered to do today. So frog out. But now, thank you to my cocaine supplier for inspiration for a bunch of jokes. Thank you to Dig and Builder for, well, he was gonna help with something planned, but fucking I didn't do it. And thank you for everyone for watching. Honestly, I'm surprised I got more than 5 views on the first video. It really does mean a lot. Frog out for real.